Damage, damage, control. Damage, damage, control. Damage, damage, control. Damage, damage, control. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your host, Ja of the Damage Control. The hostess with the smokesters, with the smoke sticks, blowing down on those moses. That's right. Stick around, yo. But let me tell you something. If you're just underage, under 18, you better ask your moms and pops and get a permission slip. Because this is Triple X, you know? So I'm going to give you the count of 10 to take a walk into the next room, okay? So you got 10, 9, 8, 7, get the fuck out. 6, 5, keep it moving. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright? Coast is clear, yo. This one goes out to todos mis amigos, todos mis gentes, todo mundo. Ay! I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down. I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down. J to the A to the H, double that. This is what you're getting when I'm cracking on a track. Break out the mariachi band, no need to hold back. I wasn't taking any naps, planning my attack. I'm bringing the vocals with the outspoken boca. Missing karaoke, doing it global. Working the mojo, so he's a no my hosto. Delicioso, vera que toca. I keep incognito with my alter ego. When I see los amigos, I'm in Puerto Rico. Eso sí necesito para ti papacitos. As far as the East goes, de mi cuchifritos. When I'm doing the tango, juice like a mango. I screw up my angles and get all entangled and strangled by gringo. I'm sure to get bankrolled, if not a cranky angry Yankee walks the plank. I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down. I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down. Dance, wig your ass, take off your do-rag. Let your hair flash, you be looking mad bad. Two-step the booty sandwich up a keeping cutie. Move it, baby, got no goodies. Maybe you're a newbie student. Caliente, como la pimienta. Mira la chuleta en chancletas, bailando incorrecta. Go ahead and nigga, you know I do it better. A sip of presidential just for breaking up the tension. Shake on the maracas, play up the cabazas, pop it to bachata. Oye, siento los timbales like a paso a paso. Nos vamos a mi casa, you got me tripping so hard you can call me ayahuasca. Watch me dance si Shakira, soy la berequera. No we vengo con las chicas, yo no soy arapera. Como una cachoeira, y vera chalera. I'll be on my simply better, and I'll be right there. I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down. I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down. Hey, bizcocho, mi tienes loca. I'm drinking rum and Coca-Cola to get me nice and open. I get them jokes, kid. Tengo cojones. Traje la que un poco no me da majones. Dirty tricks, wine them hips. Stuff your tits in Skittles and then post it up on Twitter. Maybe you get picked, stripping when you spit. Sold it up on eBay to the highest paid bid. I roast like Costello, can host it like J-Lo. Y rompe el suelo and break a stiletto. I've never been a sellout, I wrote this by myself. The ultimate rebella, yella as my Bella. Run your fingers up my spine, bite me, grab me from behind. Tell me that you wanna do it to me one more time. Approximate Sodoma, copy, Isuke o my Sodora. Imagine we're in Bora Bora, running from the New World Order. I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down. I'm making this song so catchy when you hear you can't ignore it. You're shaking the floor so much the boards are breaking shorty. I'm just adoring you're applauding this historic moment. We're disobeying orders, break the door down.
Hello.
Hello, Bruce.
Hello, Jaja. What's up?
What's up?
What's going on?
Yo, so you're joining me today for the 30th episode of Damage Control.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. We've been talking about having you on, you know what I'm saying? Breaking it down, because, you know, we always chit chatting, So it's been a minute, but the day has arrived, and it's just 3-0.
Very nice, very nice. The styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet stealing, son of a gun is on your show. How you doing?
Alright, yo, Bruce the lyricist, he's got this a little bit of a history being a performer, he's a singer, right? He's a rock star, right?
Un poquito, a little bit, yeah.
He come from that like LA punk scene, right?
Right, yeah. It's from back in the day. Probably like 2000, 2003 when I was doing my thing out there in Southern California.
If the Chili Peppers are still relevant, that shit's still relevant. It doesn't matter.
Right, yeah. I mean, they don't even plug their guitars anymore to do their little sex magic rituals with Bruno Mars. So yeah, I mean, we could definitely out-rock them. I tell you, for sure. we were a little bit heavier, kind of into that hardcore, but not really just like Hatebreed style. More like Thrice, melodic, heavy breakdowns, singing, screaming, kind of that whole bit.
I love that shit. Mosh pits,
Yeah.
lot of fucking teenage angst. I love that shit.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite moments in my young life was when I was at a Bad Religion show in Los Angeles, and I almost got my nose broken, because somebody kicked me in the nose. But it was awesome. It was an epic show.
Yo, you can't say you've been in a mosh pit unless you come out with at least one bruise or scar once in a while,
That's right. I don't want to die without any scars. Come on.
Would be no fun.
Exactly.
Yo, so you mentioned this sex magic thing, and I know that me and you talk about that a lot, we're like so interested in what the fuck's going on because we are in the music industry and we do see this perpetrating of imagery and this agenda that seems to be very scripted. And
Yeah.
we're on the inside and it like, looking out but still on the inside. So it's like, yo, but we're not there. So what the fuck is they doing,
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like being out in the streets, you know what I mean? You're in the mean streets of NYC and me out here in South Central or you know what I mean, Boyle Heights, wherever, we see the writing on the walls, we see the hand signs, we see what they do, you're throwing out Angela Merkel Illuminati gang signs and wearing Rothschild jackets. We're gonna know what set you're with, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with these musicians out there. They just do it out in the open, and that's what it's meant to do. It's social programming, social engineering to get the people and people, the young ones, with the children, the ones that are watching Hannah Montana now grow up to be a total slut. They're indoctrinating these children, these teenagers, into a lifestyle obsession. This with Luciferianism,
I thought like hip hop used to be like West Side, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was like East Coast, everybody was like used to throw their gang symbol. Now everybody's throwing this, I see like chefs on my page throwing masonry symbols and fashion people, working on these checkerboard masonry runways and stuff. And, it's just like, that seems more like weird and common. Like, why would hip hop want to identify with that?
Yeah, and you notice the pants just keep getting tighter for some reason. Before it was like, okay, you're sagging. Do you know the history? That's like some gay innuendo in jail. Like, hey, check out my ass. You know what I mean? So, but now it's not cool to sag. Now it's cool to have to have the blood circulation be cut off to your legs. With these tight little Wayne pants. I mean, what's going on with the music industry? Seriously, all the artists, all the real artists are, your Led Zeppelins, all these old school rock bands, and hip hop artists as well. They're done. They don't exist. It's all commercial pop bubblegum crap.
So what I understand, so Jay-Z is like, what is he, CEO of Universal? How far up is he in Universal? Because everybody does seem to be cut from from one little mold, a little cookie cutter thing they got going. What you think? I mean, everything sounds the same from like hip hop to pop, like.
Yeah.
So it's like all coming from the same source. So who's making these decisions? Obviously these artists are not doing their own deals. They're not like writing their own shit. So if somebody at the top, maybe is it Jay-Z, Mr. Blueprint?
Wow, I don't know who's pulling his strings. All I can tell your listening audience is that he's a jester. He's a modern day jester juggling oranges for Rockefeller. Then they allow him. Look what happens to people who oppose the bipartisan big government establishment. They end up they end up shot, or they end up having to become a death faker and move Lord knows where. But look at the ones that embrace it, the ones that throw out their gang signs. They get they're taken to the top, the upper echelon of their jesters. Why? Because they're propagating the message of materialism and just sexualizing the not that there's anything wrong with sex, but when you promote it to younger and younger audiences, and their brains, they haven't fully matured yet. It's like wet concrete. It's all done with a reason, and it's the Masonic agenda that we're seeing unfold today.
And you said that that Jay-Z, Mr. Rockefeller himself, you say he had ties to the Rockefellers. I don't know, is that true?
Well, what's his company called? Rockefeller Records. You see the homage there. You see.
Yeah, but it could be a parody. I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah. I don't know. I'm not looking at his books or his connections, Yeah. And believe me, my cousin Aaron definitely had verifiable ties to Nick Rockefeller. I'm just saying, at what level is Jay-Z saying, "Yo, I'm a Black Rockefeller"? You know what I'm saying? You know how they do. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, or even Nicky Rockefeller and David was flattered or decided to embrace it and decided to join the party. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know if there's a direct relation there between Rockefeller Records and Nick Rockefeller, Rockefeller family, of the, and that's what I'm wondering, at a certain level, right? Because I know right now that there are probably hundreds of people on that edge of the music category, that if you want to define it, right now they're like over there, they listening it, right? They listen, they watch, they look at the Vigilant Citizen, they look at all these, they listen to Mark Dice, they know what the fuck's going on, right? This is my theory. This is a little bit of a theory, and it has to do with a little bit of parody, but these guys, like, coming from hip hop, right? There's, hip hop has always been about gangsterism and guns and being, this kind of bad boy and throwing up gang symbols, et cetera, et cetera. But, ever since that East Coast, West Coast, Biggie, Tupac thing, the whole idea of, like, gangs and unity, it became like a game. But at the same time, hip hop, they follow the Bernays module, where they understand that the media, the music, have the power to control and empower, or whatever, the masses. So they know that, coming from this already knowledgeable agenda, and whoever's feeding them certain, maybe there is this anti-gun agenda instead of this glorification of fucking guns. So it's like, they decided to go backwards into this whole, like, old kind of like heavy metal rock agenda, where like Satanism was kind of the cool thing, where hip hop never ever even touched that shit. You know what I'm saying? That was never what hip hop was about. It was about fucking cocaine and fucking, fucking guns and shit and beats. That's it. And girls, and that's it. And then this shit comes in, right? But those people are paying attention. Those artists are paying attention to us conspiracy theorists. I mean, you got artists that, like, flip a little bit, like Immortal Technique, that'll do a song with Jadakiss, and maybe Eminem will even say something on it, about 9/11, but nobody's really giving you the facts of the truth. They're just, like, bringing it up. It's not that truth music, I think, I think it's really intriguing for these people, but they don't feel like it's necessarily. Well, now it is, of course,
Well,
but
yeah,
it is.
I personally believe that they're prophets of false hope. They've been indoctrinated. Many of the African American artists are Prince Hall Masons. So there, that goes to the Boule, all that whole skull and bones, the black set of the Illuminati. That's their clique. And they're propagating this Luciferianism, materialism, this obsession with metrosexuality. When back in the day it used to be, yeah, hey man, get your guns, your ladies, your hyenas, you know what I'm saying, and smoke your weed, drink your Bud Light. Yeah, now it's all about who has the tightest pants. And
Yeah, it's there is in part a demasculinization of hip hop. I mean, when you start seeing rappers wearing lipstick in videos, and their faces cleaner than looking shinier than Scarlett Johansson's, you're like, what the serious? It's like, yo, I go for a little bit more of a rougher type,
what happened to Thug Life? Thug Life, it's dead. It's been co-opted.
Right, so it's all like this Hollywood gloss, glitz. I mean, everything's really tacky in America anyway, in my opinion, Like I was watching this film the other day, and it was this John Singleton film, Boys in the Hood. This is a guy who used to be a great director. Right. And it was an interesting plot, it was called Abduction. And at first I was like, yo, it's great. It gets you into it. The movie, you could watch it. But there's this like real cornball edge. It's like, no, it's not like his old grit. If that was done like in French or something, they would have had this like grit or something. You know what I'm saying? But everything's got this glitz. They took the grit out of everything. This Hollywood. It's almost tacky. It's very formulaic. It's like it's very monetized, and it's done. It's done systematically where a lot of the original messages are diluted.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I mean, look what happens to the ones that are anti-Illuminati. They get shot, and the ones that are pro-Illuminati, they end up owning the Brooklyn Nets. So it speaks for itself.
But what is Illuminati? What I'm saying is like maybe Jay-Z is just. I'm not saying that the gay boule doesn't exist. First of all, Jay-Z's not really a gay man to me. I never heard any street stories of him being gay.
They did discredit that Foxy Brown quote or whatever, but who knows? He could have paid her off. I don't know.
No. I don't know. I don't know about news media stuff, but I know about the streets, and I'm in Brooklyn, and I know a lot of gay people, and I know a lot of stories, and there's been no stories on the Scrub about Jay-Z. So, there is a black boule, and you would think like Russell Simmons and, these guys are.
Quincy Jones. I mean, that's
exactly.
It's going back to the old school West Coast, East Coast days. I mean, that's a lot of people speculate that right there is what if Tupac was assassinated.
No, Tupac wasn't assassinated. Didn't I go through that with you already, Bruce?
You did.
But he's not. I'm telling you, it has been. I have this shit vetted, figured out up and down. Just look at his autopsy photographs. I mean, years ago, I picked that apart. There's one autopsy photograph that you cannot up the res on, and that is photoshopped, and it's taken from still from one of his movies. It's a whole hoax, okay? This nigga went to fucking Cuba. There's pictures of him. They have dates on cars that were taken of footage of him in Cuba. It's definitely him. You can see his biometrics, etc. And who he's with and how he's walking. It's not no hoax and shit. And there were cars in Cuba with models that have been dated later than the date of his death. And his aunt already went to Cuba. She already declared herself dead years ago, like in the 70s, like 60s or something, with the Black Panthers. No, it was whatever his aunt's name, Tafini or something. I always forget her fucking name, but Shafini or something. And she ended up, she was down with Castro. Is what I'm telling you. This is all like, that's why he went, I was like, fuck you, fuck this, I'm out, boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. And they staged that shit because they knew that he was being used as a antagonist, protagonist kind of situation. He was being scripted. He's like, nah, man, this is my time. I'm out. He already knew he had a way out. That's why he went. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, Mo, you know how much extra Tupac material got released after he fucking so-called died?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that man, that boy, that guy, you know, if he would have died when he died, there was no way he could have been fucking producing shit like that much, because let me tell you, that's why he went into Cuba to go to isolation. He was making movies. Yo, that nigga wasn't like, he was prolific, but serious, you know, he was getting harassed though. You get like, you deal with, there was a change, and he was around during that pinnacle change in hip-hop when everybody decided to make hip-hop into that corporate interest. They decided it's no more like mainstream, no more like marginalization of hip-hop. We're going to take it to the next level. And he probably wasn't down with that shit, and he was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. But he was already too big, so that's why he really dipped, and that's why they were like, staged his death and shit. I'm telling you, this is all, I mean, this is what I've been told, even by some big people. No names mentioned, but I've also done a lot of my own digging, you know, and as common sense tells me that, you know, and Biggie, you know, is dead. I know people that have seen his body in the morgue. So
I've driven by the site many times out here in LA, by the Ford.
Yeah, but
very sad, very, very, very sad.
Biggie
definitely. No, that was that's probably the last days of great gangster rap, you know, just, you know, true to the bone gangster rap, not the pop bubblegum commercialized manufactured crap of today. You know, those were the days back then.
But listen, you got to look at the times right now. How many real gangsters are there? The only gangsters right now are the fucking feds over there in Benghazi and shit, right? I mean, who's the gangsters? Is the fucking the DEA? You know what I'm saying? They're running fucking drugs and shit, and they're over in Iraq, fucking passing jewelry thieves. You know what I'm saying?
John McCain's a gangster. You know, yeah, Hillary Clinton. She's a gangster. Yeah, they're. I'll give Ventura this. You know, he coined a nice phrase. The demo crips and re-bloodlickings, because that's what you got. You got gangsters running our government.
Yup, they're total gangsters, and they're all. And the thing is that they're throwing the same signs now as the rappers, which almost is like cheesy for me, because, like you said, it used to be like, like I have photographs of my gang friends from Brooklyn, you know, and these guys were throwing signs, doing shit with their fingers that you don't know what they were fucking throwing. Okay, so. Right. I have a lot of them pictures. I did a whole series on them. They were just throwing shit, and they had their own thing. But like these mainstream, these gang signs that everybody's throwing, it seems to be scripted. You know, like the judges will be throwing the same signs as the gangsters. So.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because when you go into the courthouses, Jaja, what do you see? You see Masonic handbooks from back in, you know, the 1800s. You know, you got. Yeah, I mean, the walls in courtrooms, you have Masonic architecture and artwork. They're in bed together. You know, the Freemasons recruit lawyers, judges, politicians, police officers, artists, magicians. They haven't discriminated since the 1300s, 1400s, when they started letting non-Masons into the craft, into, you know, basically just the occult.
But listen, you are interested in spirituality and occultism. But I'm just saying is that what I'm asking is this: it's like all these artists, Lupe Fiasco, all these people that are up there, you know, Gaga. You're telling me they all got indoctrinated to go into the Eastern Star or the local Masonic lodge, or as well? I'm bringing this up. You know what I'm saying? Or they agreed to throw these signs. It doesn't mean that they are, you know, or like I'm saying, it just was just a picture they're posing, you know, and it could just be like just to feed off of that whole agenda, you know what I'm saying? Not even just because it's supposed to be like secret and shit, that it's like, yeah, we got a secret, boom, we're throwing a secret sign, you know, but that doesn't mean that they went to that temple before they got signed by Universal, right? I mean,
Right, they're just promoting the agenda of their masters.
uh-huh. They're just
That's
throwing a new contemporary gang symbol.
exactly.
Hmm. So how do you know that these people are actually channeling? Like you see these videos, it's like Umbrella and Beyonce with her corset that looks like Baphomet on the motorcycle, and they play into the Jay-Z's t-shirts, do as thou wilt, and and the whole Baphomet thing. So like at what point is that just a hip hop adapting old heavy metal imagery as opposed to just like guns and shit, or like glitzy jewels or blood diamonds? You know what I'm saying? The symbology is changing. Instead of like east west, it's now become Mason, give me an okay sign, and that's good enough because I'm not dividing. I'm just creating a second level of occult antagonism. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like legendary artists have said, like Africa Bambaataa, it's a complete Luciferian takeover of hip hop, but in general, the music industry, it doesn't necessarily mean they themselves are, Illuminati going back to the days of the Bavarian Order, but what it does mean it's that they're basically committing treason against the United States.
No. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they are at all. I would say that muses.
Right.
Right,
Well,
Muse. No,
some
Muse,
artists.
because no, the people that are fake, that are doing political, they're trying to make patriot music, like Muse, for example, who are British, and they would be,
Exactly.
and they're creating, and they're saying, about mind control, and they're singing all about, brainwashing and the government, but then they're saying, stand down and we should just take it up our ass and die and be prepared to die. That is more treasonous because that is totally being promoted to the patriot movement, and they are using subliminal, deceptive business practices to actually mock and sublimate that particular audience.
Absolutely.
But like Jay-Z, I think, he's more on the level. He's like, yeah, fucking, I worship Baphomet. If you come with the dollar sign with it, how much is he worth? I'll take him.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, I mean, it's like he's like a modern day Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a price, right? And in his case, everybody's got to pay.
But I'm just saying, like, look, I'm really like a good person, and I'm not scared of fucking demons. I'll fucking chill with them and smoke a blunt. You know what I'm saying? That's not even it. But I'm just curious at the level of like, what do they believe that they're really worshiping? I mean, like, who's to say they're going to fucking churches and to Luciferian churches, and so these 5 years are at fucking dinner parties. You know what I'm saying? These people are not in fucking blood sacrificial rituals. To me, these are almost theatrical elements. I'm getting like different perspectives on this. Believe me, I've been picking this shit apart for years. I'm just saying,
Right.
I'm not taking a side. I'm being fucking a judge here. I'm just saying that these guys are just taking, a marketing technique, like imagery that they said, let's ride with it. Let's be bad because, in order to be famous, you got to be bad. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole bad boy America is famous for our bad boys, our cowboys and shit, our gangsters. So this is their way they could kind of maybe soften up their gangsterism, is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, James Cagney, your Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Yeah, they're all gone. Yeah, and it could definitely be a marketing ploy. Like Iron Maiden and metal, they have Eddie. They needed somebody, some type of something that could embody, what the band's all about. And in this case, this whole propagating of this Illuminati subculture is being propagated by these artists day in and day out now.
Yeah, I mean the whole concept of them doing magic is just like, well, that's kind of cool, right? I mean, it's like, it's not shooting heroin. They're not saying stick a needle in your arm and walk around, like the Sex Pistols like do as them, like
yeah. Well, that was rock and roll, Nowadays it's all about playing air guitar and wearing a fruity little tux. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because they want to, the music industry knows that if they want to put out fucking antagonist, provocateur, anarchist, like myself, and that they would put us out with fucking guns in our hands and fucking knives on our calves and shit. You know what I'm saying? All doing like some fucking jujitsu moves,
Oh,
But
yeah.
they don't want that. They don't want that fucking invincible superhero, fucking crazy ass. They want like Eminem and 50 is Batman and Robin, like cheeseball shit. They don't want you fucking real, like, fucking real, because that would bring fear onto the music industry. They want everything.
Absolutely.
They want everything to be happy go lucky, all candy ass and shit.
Oh, you're right. And, I just want to share this with your listening audience. You bring up Eminem, he has a song called Say Goodbye to Hollywood, where I'm sure you know this already. I mean, he states that if I go back, I never would have rapped. I sold my soul to the devil, and I'll never get it back. So what does that tell you, folks? They're out there putting it out there that they themselves are controlled by this Rain Man or this whatever. It's not Dustin Hoffman from with Tom Cruise. I mean, this is some serious cauldron magic type shit that they propagate to the masses.
Yeah, but Eminem does speak in metaphors, and I'm not saying that he doesn't say that. He likes being a deviant, like he just likes saying that shit, like.
Oh yeah.
But in real life, I mean, he's twisted. Don't get me wrong.
He's been the poster boy for violence since he said, hello, my name is, right?
Yeah, but what violence has he committed?
Exactly, but what I find funny is that I don't know how reliable these tabloid sources are really, this, but they said that he's kind of fearful of his daughter now dating someone that may be a fan of his or like him in any way. It goes around
because it sucks. I mean, because everybody wants something from him. I'm not his defense lawyer, trust me. But I mean, it's the truth though. I mean, I tell you, everybody wants something from this guy, and then nobody wants to know you unless you're somebody. And then she goes, "Oh, that's my dad, Mr. Shady," and they're all like, then they want to be her boyfriend. Right, then they want to be her boyfriend because of him. They want to get on or meet the dad, I understand that. I mean, that's just like, I grew up around famous people. That shit's like, people get corny and shit. The minute you're in a position of power, people get fucking all ass kissery and flattery and gaslighting you and all phony, and you can see right through that shit. Like, like when people are doing that to you, you can see it. It's like, ugh, and you don't want to say nothing. You're just like, all right, goodbye.
Because this person can become, your blood in a way, right? I mean, you could become a family member if he marries your daughter. So it's like, it's like that one song, money and blood don't mix, like, two dicks and no bitch. Right? Like that Biggie song. Yeah.
I'm sure all these rappers, all these artists, they distance themselves from their kids a little bit because it's just people get too starfuckery with their kids, and then their kids' lives get messed up. Because then people will be like, "Oh, your father couldn't do anything for me. Well, fuck you." And the kids are like, "What? You thought you were my friend?" You know what I'm saying? So, it's a protective thing. Whatever it is, it's their relationship. I'm not at that point of fame, although I should be, and every one of those guys we just talked about knows it. So they wouldn't be where they is right now.
Very talented. As you know, I bump some of your music. They're very hot.
Yeah, well, my new shit is fucking crazy hot, and I'm looking forward to eventually releasing all of it soon. But awesome. Enough about me. Let's talk about this fucking Baphomet shit, because it's interesting, because I'm not scared of demons, right? And I'm not scared of no devil, and I'm not scared of nothing they worship.
Because you have a strong heart, and a strong soul, and that's right there. Those are all the keys to, overpowering any evil.
Okay, but you are going to these occultic weekends, right? Like, what are they? What are these spiritual, like, what is it that you're going to? That you're interviewing people?
I wouldn't call it occultic. It's kind of like, you got many celebrities. It's actually going on this weekend. You have many radio personalities. I mean, you got George Norrie's going to be there. You got your Sean David Mortons, David Wilcock, Greg Braden. My last guest, who was just on my show, Matias De Stefano, who is a historian of the universe. I've interviewed Giorgio Sokol there. I got to talk to George and make a video out of that, a video interview. So, well, yeah, I mean it's about people who are pretty much in touch with nature. They promote alternative foods, alternative ways of life, and also people who believe in the metaphysical world and how there's a binding spiritual force between you and the tree. And I'm starting to sound like Yoda. And that's kind of funny too, because even the Freemasons have a god that resembles the Star Wars character. So, but in reality, that's what it is. It's people who are trying to get in touch with, trying to make that quantum leap.
What's the Star Wars character?
In consciousness.
Which Star Wars?
The little green midget dude with the green lightsaber?
What was his name?
Yoda.
Okay.
Right. There's actually a god in Masonic in Masonic scripture that states that there's a god that looks just like the little Yoda guy. So I mean, George Lucas definitely had some malicious intent when he was writing his script, putting in deities from both that resemble Christ and Yoda. But yeah, I'm going to the Conscious Life Expo. I interview a lot of top radio celebrities from coast to coast, ancient aliens, and there's lots of psychics there. So, I mean, yeah, it can get a little esoteric, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, esoteric is similar to the occult. Occult is just hidden, and you're
not out there with a cow heart or anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, you the what do you call yourself? Mexicano. What do you call yourself?
I call myself a real American.
Chicano, right? You a fucking Chicano. You're a So you over there, you have Mexican in you. Do you have that Santeria? That's your grandma and stuff, right? Your aunts?
Nobody that I know of in my family has ever really practiced Santeria or anything like that. I mean, I'm familiar with Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, and basically, you go out there and you pour a little shot for your loved one, or you sing them a song, you remember the good days. But not anybody, no one in my family that I know of, from Mexico that's out there, because I'm actually second generation Mexican American here in California. My grandpa started a business out in Oakland, and my father started his own business in Los Angeles, and I'm trying to start my own radio empire here as well.
Don't worry, we're not going to ask you for your birth certificate like we do Obama. Don't worry, we don't care. We know we're not immigration.
Yeah, hey, you know what? This used to be. My grandpa is buried out in the backyard from when it used to be Mexico here in LA. So I mean, hey, the only thing that happened was that the flag changed one day, but the people stayed the same.
People are always the same. I mean, just different laws and shit. That's all we got.
Oh yeah, more libtarded over here. That's for sure. But we're trying to change that, of course. But yeah.
Yeah, but the only way we can change it is bring the grit back. But they don't want to bring the grit back. They want to make everything all glossed over, But so tell me, so you never saw a ghost?
I'll be real with you. Being on damage control, I have. I don't really like to talk about these experiences, but you asked me, have I ever seen a ghost? I experienced something paranormal in Texas on a lone highway, which was a ghost highway, by myself about two years ago when I was en route to Austin to do a couple of reports in Dallas. One that was the JFK assassination exposed video that I did a couple of years back at Dealey Plaza, my whole trip around there, asking questions. Have you heard of Operation 40? Do you know who, do you know who Zapruder is? And just asking questions, little simple questions, just to gauge the public's perception. But I experienced just something freaky on that drive over there. As I looked into the sky, it just, it looked freaky. I felt something at that time that makes me believe in this this other interdimensional world where these demons that these Masons believe in could very well exist. Because, I mean, you feel it in your gut when you're confronted with these paranormal situations, and other people have experienced much worse. You know, all I saw was some electricity and something weird in the sky. I was lucky.
Did it feel cold? The air, they say that it feels cold or change in temperature, all of a sudden kind of.
Right. No, I just felt something in my gut that just told me like, whoa, I gotta drive like, I gotta go from 65 to like 85 because I gotta get the hell out of here. It felt like I was in the Twilight Zone for maybe like 10 seconds. I don't know if it was, I'm sorry, because I was trying to, just gauge what I was doing. Like, okay, I'm on my way to Austin or whatever. I don't know, but it was just freaky. I saw something freaky in the sky, and it just freaked me out. It wasn't a UFO or nothing. It was just strange lightning and formations. And again, I figured out where I was on the map, and it was a ghost town. So
that's very weird. Now, what about your family? Do you have any stories of angels, or their family members coming to them? I mean, sometimes you hear that, in families, no?
Right. Well, I lost an uncle a long time ago, when I was maybe in seventh grade. And yeah, he was probably my favorite uncle. So when I found out that he died, and in the manner that he died, I was quite distraught. And, I've kind of, when I go to these conventions, so to say, if there's a medium or somebody like a Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost or something, I tried to ask them if he's near me, or if I can channel him, or how I can channel him better to, just remember, or if he can be my guardian angel, so to say. So, it's a little personal, it's just the love for one's lost, relatives, and you want to know, are they safe? Did they pass over? Are they okay? And it's more of just wanting to know that he's, that he's okay, that he's not in a dark place,
And did anything happen? Did you get any information?
Well, my family members made me feel good. They tell me that I look like him. That's probably why, they always tell me, oh, you remind me a lot of your uncle, or cousins tell me your uncle. So I kind of feel his spirit, lives on in me, so it's that kind of, it makes you feel good, okay, the part of me is still alive, and a part of my uncle is still alive in all of us, in my family, And yeah, he died in a very tragic way. He, car accident, and he died at like 29. So I'm about to be 29 this year. So it's like I'm his age now. So it's just that's why I like to go to these conventions, because you have these psychic mediums, and they kind of give you these tips on how you can meditate, or connect your chakras, the inner power within you that makes you this special, light being, this light body that we all possess. And a lot of people say, oh no, it's witchcraft, but you got to understand. I mean, when you say a simple Hail Mary, or some people say, oh, don't worship Hail Mary, or All Father, what have you. It's a form of white magic, So it's protecting.
There's a whole, right, it's protecting yourself. There's a whole, but there's like half the truth movement, patriot movement. They think that any kind of this stuff is sorcery. So to them, it's no different than Jay-Z looking or saying that he's into Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? It's almost, to them, it's the same thing. I mean, so many people equate the two. How do you start defining the difference?
Oh, that's a very good point. It could very well be, oh, well, you're a hypocrite because you're pointing out all this, symbolism that these New Age artists do, but yet, you talk to psychic mediums. Patrick Swayze talked to a psychic medium too. Just because you don't believe that something else exists out there, this other metaphysical world, and just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean that it's not true. It definitely is true, and you just don't pass on. If you're a piece of crap, you're gonna get taken away by all these little dark spirits, like in the movie Ghost. They're gonna get you.
What crime did these guys do? So, I mean, like they're supposed to be like, oh, look how, I mean, we have the whole Patriot movement, pointing fingers at them. Look at the evil people. But they still haven't, they're putting these fucker people to the guillotine. They haven't committed a crime in the eyes of the public. They could play off of that, but so did Ozzy Osbourne and only got him more fans, and Meatloaf and shit, it's not.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's used as a marketing gimmick, as a ploy. I mean, these people are nothing but jesters. It's not their crime. It's the crimes of their masters that I think the truthers are up in arms about. But then again, what don't we know? There's they got to have some skeletons in their closet. You know what I mean? Did they do some blood sacrifices? Did they kill a friend here? Did they do this? Did they do that? I don't know.
Right, but what I'm saying is, what masters? If Jay-Z is running the whole ship, what master is he? But to use it as a gimmick and a ploy to get attention, and it's a formulaic device to just attract and detract from guns and and other things, which is probably.
It goes back to that old gang mentality. Jay-Z was from the streets, so he basically joined another gang, being this becoming a jester for the Illuminati. So he's going with the flow, and he's throwing out their symbols now, just like a Lil Wayne, just like Bono, just like all these pieces of trash that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, but Bono has a lot of ties to the Scottish Freemason, right? People. I mean, I know that. I've heard about him behind doors, and I know that he gets involved with a lot of political things. Like he starts standing up for things he shouldn't have. I mean, I know Jay-Z. Yeah, whatever. He's friends with Warren Buffett. I don't know, like what things. I was standing up for neoconism. That's not always a bad thing either, because it's still a good example in general to young, to people that a black man can profit. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it could be looked.
Well, I mean, I'm not too big on Jay-Z, but now that I recall, I mean, he used to be a crack dealer, didn't he? Used to. I mean, that's also not a very good something good to good role model as well.
He probably dealt crack for like 6 months and shit, and then figured out rap rhyme with crack, and decided to get into rap, and then spent like 10 years talking about his 6 months of fucking trying to deal crack until somebody kicked his ass.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's just people. I mean, the youth of today need real role models. They need to look to poets and artists. I don't want to say Jim Morrison, because he was a drunk too. Maybe so was Edgar Allan Poe. Man, a lot of good artists were drunks. but you know what I mean? It's just people who actually brought something, culture. A lot of these guys are just they suck.
Like, I know Sean Paul drinks a lot, but he's a great artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still like I don't think a lot of these guys are big drunks now. For some reason, I'm not getting that real drinking vibe from a lot of these big people. They're not. They're more into the coke. Or what I wanted to ask you is, like, back to the magic thing again. Like, here we have like the image of the devil on the Rider tarot deck, right? So it's just one of the cards, and like all these people at your spiritual expo. What's the name of it again?
It's the Conscious Life Expo. It's really hip. I mean, they do it at the Hilton right there at LAX. So I mean, it's happening. Very, very swanky.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of David Wilcock lectures held over there before.
Yeah.
But those people are all into the tarot and stuff. I mean, when they look at the devil card, as a reader, as a psychic, will look at the devil card and tell you that devil is not the devil. It's just showing you that there's a change or a possible conflict or possible rebirth.
Right, yeah, it's a little twisted, correct.
Right, and it's the same Baphomet that you see that the Patriots are accusing these artists of worshiping.
Yeah. Well, I've never been too much into the tarot. I've interviewed maybe in my career as a broadcaster two psychics, and that's because I personally thought that they brought something to the table that others didn't, and I wanted that coast to coast flavor on my show as well.
Yeah, your
you
show
know,
is great. Plug your show a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. My show airs on the one and only Guerrilla Media Network every Sunday, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. And, I've interviewed some heavyweights in what we do in the alternative media, ladies and gentlemen, everybody from
Jordan
Jordan
Maxwell.
Maxwell to G. Edward Griffin to, Dr. Colbo, you name it. I mean, we get them all. Jim Mars, so we don't leave any stone, unturned. We cover everything from possible extraterrestrial or trickster god life or manipulation of our planet and us as a species to government cover-ups to health, you name it. We cover it all. We don't gatekeep.
No, no. Bruce is hot. He's got his own show, and he's hot. He really digs deep, and he get asked great questions. And because he's such a cool guy, he's easy to listen to. Some people are very, sometimes they cover an interesting subject, but you could go to sleep on them, right?
Oh yeah, you gotta jazz it up a little bit. You gotta add some flavor, some spices, and that's what I work with. I got a whole spice rack of swag.
Yeah, I love your show. You definitely
Thank
got
you.
interesting guests. It's, you don't sound like an NLPer, a neuro-linguistic programmer. You don't sound like one of them at all.
Thank you. I try to sound more like a vintage Attitude Era Vince McMahon. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, you do a good Christian Slater.
Thank you. I can also flip out and be a diva like Christian Bale. So don't test me.
So back to the magic. So so what boundary is, we're talking about good witches and bad witches and people that worship or say they worship a deity, but maybe just don't. Maybe they're really just good Christians and just pray and just hope, and they say they're not doing anything wrong and they're just, acting, out of script. I mean, what's the difference between like being in a fucking horror film and you were like, you acted in a film. Okay, and I'm not saying that this is good, whatever, or bad. I'm not putting a judgment on it. I'm saying that you just like acted in some fucking Day of the Dead, a zombie movie
Right.
with witches, a cult film. Everybody's eyes turned upside, inside out and shit, with blood sacrificial
Right.
rituals. What's the fucking difference, though? Between that and looking at Lady Gaga with the Knights of Templar Masonic, whole look, because they were buying off of all the truth shit anyway. Like, it's more provocative. I'm just saying it's a marketing thing.
Well,
like,
you're absolutely right. It's something that's become just an everyday thing. It's just out in the open. You got Lady Gaga wearing Baphomet heads, and you got them twisting and contorting their bodies in a way that had to be edited on purpose. Every single shot had to be edited for Rihanna to look like this Baphomet that has been confirmed that it's the worshipping of Lucifer. You had Dan Bidandi on last week. I never thought I'd give a shout out to Dan, but hey, he's a great guy. So hey, he covered it. He covered it to the T last week on your show. So big ups to Dan. He's doing his thing. He's a warrior of the light. A true keeper of Yeshua. So yeah, that's what it comes down to. These people who and not necessarily are part of the problem. They're just propagating the agenda of the problem.
or just capitalizing off of it, of the whole issue that the patriot movement is perpetrating as evil. It's like this. I didn't go to Catholic school, but I grew up around, a lot of my friends did. And let me tell you, those Catholic girls were the first ones to hike up their skirts, wear black nail polish, turn a cross upside down, and start sucking dick.
Damn, so Sarah Michelle Gellar style in that one movie.
Yeah, those Catholic good girls that were going to Catholic school, it's because them fucking nuns were screaming at their asses that, don't be evil, the devil's gonna get you. So it's like, it goes back to me, to this purist, because we're in such a fucking Bible Belt fucking country, and don't tell me half the patriot movement isn't all up in that shit, so, the witch trials and shit, I mean, it's just it's safer for them, than getting into gang wars too, you know what I'm saying? In a way, it's like it's just like watching some Rocky Horror Picture shit, I don't know.
Hello.
Some Rosemary Baby shit, some fucking Omen shit, some exorcism shit, like, I mean, everybody's screaming at it, but, they're still running to the fucking horror films, believe me, if they get a good one, they're running to the fucking horror films, so it's scripted, it's just Hollywood, it's just a look, and they know that even adding those Knights of Templar shit, I mean, I'm saying, who's to even say that they're their masters, I mean, maybe they're making, fucking Jay-Z and all his people's just making fun of that shit. They're just mocking it all because they know it's going to get a rise out of people because we're in such a puritanical, Bible Belt kind of place.
That's really what it comes down to. It's this shock value, right?
Mm-hmm.
In music, and it's been going down. I mean, you don't need Jay-Z, to be where we're at today. Look at the pioneers of this shock entertainment, like Marilyn Manson, and they were all accused of like what, Columbine in his day. So yeah, they come after them, but it's clear, Jaja. In my book, he's propagating this agenda of the Illuminati. This materialism, this constant just selfishness, and really a culture of a subculture of evil. With their imagery and their symbolism, it's just become clear. You don't need Vigilant Citizen. You don't need Bruce Montalvo to tell you. All you got to do is watch them perform at a Super Bowl every now and then, as gut wrenching as that may be. But just watch them, and you'll see just that they're puppets. Their strings are being pulled just by exactly who he named his company after. Like I said, where's Tupac today? I think Tupac should own, the Clippers or something like that. But no, he's, we don't know. I mean,
he's Ghost. He's out. Whatever it is, he's Ghost Tupac, and he's just like, he doesn't want a part of that shit because they all have a script, and he said, I'm not gonna buy it, and that's right. And I'm not coming back. You're just gonna.
But you know what I mean? These the ones that are anti-establishment end up with nothing or having to change their name or flee the country, and the ones that go with the flow get it all.
Right. So, yes, there is that, yes, but maybe they were just picked to do that.
Exactly. And that's what happens. It's destroying music. You see shows like American Idol. You're not supposed to... If you suck, you're supposed to suck and then be in a garage and practice your ass off or write rhymes on a napkin and recite them on your way to work or while you're taking a dump. At all times, you're supposed to be working on your musical persona, because that's what it is. Or if you're playing guitar, you're practicing your arpeggios, all that. But what happens? They prop up these shows like American Idol, and they make people who want, who may suck in music at their present state, but who knows? They could morph it like a caterpillar. They get into its cocoon. They could morph into something beautiful later on, a great artist. But what happens? They get on these shows and they suck, and that breaks their heart, and they don't do what they're supposed to do. What real musicians, at least from my day, I'm not too old, but still, we'd practice in a garage all damn day, and piss everybody off until we couldn't play anymore, like around 9 o'clock or something when they'd call the cops. That's what it used to be. Practice makes perfect. And now it's this fast food type artist that get developed, this mentality of fast food in the music industry where it's just like ready to order artists.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists that come and go very quickly. People don't realize that, but there are a few staples that really stick around. But these very flash in the pants. They got a moment of fame, They get tried out. They're a gimmick too, Like, I never wanted to be that gimmick. I knew that I was original, and what my material is coming from me. I'm not saying that I'm without inspiration, but my level of inspiration isn't about blueprinting somebody's work, and marketing it to the
Oh yeah,
mainstream.
you're such an inspiration. You're so inspired that you yourself has become a muse, so to say, right?
Hey, we could say that. But that article that you wrote, Bruce, is, could people find it anywhere? It's called Interchanging Mind Control.
Oh, absolutely, they could find it on GorillaMediaNetwork.com. They just got to go through the archives there, the news, the columns, or they could just type in Muse at MontalvoReport.com, my little search bar on the right side of the page, and they could click there, and they'll get, in the feed, little news feed, I'm sure they'll see the article pop up there.
Yeah, this article is, here it is, also on Before It's News.
That's right.
And it's Muse exposed as fake revolutionaries. I covered this for a few minutes on one of my earlier shows, but now we have the author here, and I helped Photoshop that photograph of Bellamy with the triangle, which is really the triangle of Jay-Z's Pyramid Corporation, of his umbrella corporation, Universal Music. So, I mean, you could say it's Illuminati, and I'm not saying that that Universal Music does not deal with government agenda, some other agenda. But in this case, you have Bellamy, he's definitely part of Universal, Muse is part of Universal, so that triangle might not necessarily mean Illuminati. It could just mean that it's a symbol of the rock, of the pyramid of fucking Universal.
That, or, what I think it means is the sun god, Horus. That's the main reason why they do it. And if you look at the days of the week, Sunday, that's Horus's day. You got Moon Day, Monday, Tuesday, that's the god of Thor. Saturday is for the Roman god of agriculture. That's all it is. And companies like Universal, they're very smart. They know this, and that's part of this social engineering agenda, to propagate because symbols rule the world, really. They hold power, and if people know what they're preaching or what's on their shirt, if they really knew, I'm sure they wouldn't buy it or be part of it or want to be part of it. But since they don't know and it looks so lucrative, then it takes them by storm. And what I think, every time they throw up their hand and the diamond rock or DDP, whatever, it's just blatant worshiping of the sun god.
Yeah, and that's idol worshiping, and that's looking at somebody else, and giving them all the light, and then they're that's what fame is, though, right? I mean, isn't that they're in the spotlight? Everybody's looking at them. Mm-hmm. They become Absolutely. Sun gods themselves.
That's right, and that's the thing. People believe, they're the illuminated ones, the skeptics out there that like to laugh at the so-called conspiracy theorists or critical thinkers, as what they should be called. The truth is these guys, these jesters, they may not be Illuminati, but they're definitely part of the cabal. They're part of the they're not at the top of the pyramid, but they are the keepers themselves. They're members. They're indoctrinated. They're the keepers of Jabulon's ancient secrets themselves. All Freemasons, and they can't be trusted, and they sure as well can't be considered honest. Trusted, and they sure as well can't be considered honest.
So that's really interesting that that you think that they can't be trusted. So but their whole allegiance is to a clandestine oath of trustworthiness.
Absolutely, yeah. They have all these secret rituals and indoctrinations. But what I think is quite fascinating and kind of just horrifying at the same time is they actually have a god, a Masonic god, and this god actually, it resembles, your name in a way, Jaja. I mean, it's called Jabulan, and it's freaky. You ever heard of this Masonic god?
Yeah, you mentioned it to me earlier, and I immediately thought it was me because
No, this is one of the scariest, most freakiest things. When I came across this deity in my research on these esoteric ones, these people who say they're illuminated but are actually petrified of the light. They worship this deity that's like a spider with a cat's head and a toad's head. It's a 3-headed spider monster, and the middle head resembles Prince Charles or Vlad Dracula with some type of British monarchy crown. It's just very freaky, and this has come about since I gotta say since the days of Jacques Desmoulins and so on. I mean, it's been with them for a while. This study of this deity. I mean, it just didn't come up in a freaking Jay-Z or with the origin of G. You have 50 Cent putting G unit on shit. What he really means is generative principle, giving reference to said Freemasons.
yeah, I mean that's definitely it's a G Mason symbol. I mean, people say it's gay unit, but that's them. But that's just like whatever street fucking shit. People like to say that.
But yeah, that's funny too, because I mean, to be gay, you gotta have sex, and to throw out that symbol, I mean, that's generative principle, which basically means sex. That's what it means. I mean, Masons will tell you, oh no, it means God, like the Yeshua or whatever. Absolutely not. They spit on Jesus's image 24/7. They are actually when they have that G up there, what it really means is it's not geometry, it's not sacred geometry, it's sex, plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. I see that it didn't really get popular amongst these new agers or whatever until after 2005. That was like, it's just not really a very common or famous god, but it definitely is suspicious, and I don't believe it. And they're talking about lyrics. First of all, demons, they're not the demons from Solomon's temple, okay? So all that real occult, Wiccan stuff, all the satanic things that the demons that they supposedly can conjure, those are all, those are like 72 demons from King Solomon. And these like latter day demons, Selassie, I mean, that is like from contemporary times. I mean, he's not King Solomon times. I mean, this is from Ethiopia. We have his history. We know he was a man. We know he lived. We know who he was.
It goes further, right? It goes further than the Knights of Solomon's temple. But it's intriguing because this Jabulan, I mean, in Hebrew means God. Again, they have all sorts of gods. They even have a god that resembles Star Wars' Yoda. So I mean, they have all these deities. And it's scary because if we go back to the World War II days, and I had a guest on that talked about just these portals and these dimensions, how Hitler could have had this machine that was like an interdimensional, like basically a time space continuum, like little time travel ship or something. And these deities can go through these realms. They intermingle with us, so it's insane.
So I mean, that's just to say, if you really believe in demons or deities, or or they ghosts, or they're angels, or they're just your ancestors, or they're your fucking delusional imagination. So, it's real harmless, regardless. I mean, maybe if I was a exorcist kind of Catholic priest, I might start giving you the other number, how dangerous they can be, and they can claw you at night and tear your skin up and, and do all kinds of things to you, but it's harmless shit. I mean, it's just made up.
It's just this what they study. I mean, this blatant paganism and these worshiping these deities. It's just chilling to know that you have politicians out there like Ron Paul and so on that are part of these esoteric groups and are worshiping, have been indoctrinated since their fraternity days and all this paganism, and it's just scary, Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not afraid of no demon. I'm more afraid of the people that walk with me on earth, because they're the ones that can inflict harm to you, immediate harm. So I'm more afraid of people per se than demons.
Right. When you get, that's right. You see, now that's where the magic, the white magic and the black magic, that's where we have differences of humanity. We have people that will do anything. They will hurt another person. They will, rip them apart. They will rob them. They will do whatever they can to get ahead. And that is a very fucked up, dark person. And that's a person who thinks they can just do as thou wilt.
That's right.
So that does make the difference of person. Now,
can these interdimensional demons, again, can they, we know that in states of, like, let's say you're a little bit, sauced up or whatever, you had a couple of drinks, we know that you're more susceptible to being possessed by one of these interdimensional demons when you're in a state of an alcoholized state or something of that manner, so it's just creepy,
Yeah, tantric states and shit like that. Yeah, I mean, but that's the evangelical movements use that also, they get into the whole mass movement, the crowd, get them all. Yeah. That's mystique, just look at a great performer and you want that crowd, saying, so you're looking for things to shock and awe, grab everybody's attention, you're looking to do shit that's exotic, that's different. So, but I think it's really the heart of the artist or the person or the practitioner of any, like you said, any pagan ritual, whether it involves a demon, an evil demon, a good demon, I think that there are demons that are not evil. I mean, right now, it's all the intention. I mean, I am looking at this book right now, right?
Right.
Her name is from a woman named Sorceress Cagliostro. Now, you could listen to her podcast. She got a whole on Blog Talk Radio. Her name is Sorceress Cagliostro, spelled exactly how her Italian ass sounds. All right, she wrote a couple of books. You can't get more necromancer than this woman. All right, she's straight from New York, East Village type, straight up goth princess, but she's a master's. She knows everything about necromancy and using blood, and it's blood sorcery.
Ooh.
But this woman is straight up from the morgue. She used to work there, and she's really good person, straight up. But she uses her blood, to channel, she doesn't channel. That's what I want to talk to you about. She connects, she contacts.
Yeah.
You say channel, you don't want to channel ever. You open up them fucking chakras, you don't want to be fucking possessed. You allowing for possession. Channeling is when you let something inside you. Like I don't let anybody inside me except, some guy that's hot. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. Ain't no fucking, I'm not having no fucking ghost astral sex with a fucking ghost or a demon, and
like in that movie, a Scary Movie, she's getting all freaking done up by a ghost up on the roof, all over the place. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go on.
That's what I'm saying, But at Cagliostro, she got a book called 26 Daemons, not demons, daemons. And I guess they're just 26 different spirits that she's met on her years of living on this planet, and she's traveled the world in a lot of cemeteries, and she found that some of them work for you, and some of them, And now I listen to I like him now, Chris Everett, and he does a lot of videos, he's got a show on Truth Network, and he gets really into what a demon is, and he makes a very general, and he talks about how much he studies it, but he still gives a general pointed, black and white, fact based. He says it's a fact, it's opinion, about what a demon is. He says you all have to do a favor for all of them. And it's such bullshit. Like she got this book, 26 Demons, and you can write a sigil, right? And there's just one. This is interesting, right? I'm going to read you about Chagathathy. Chagathathy manipulates armies, war, ego, controls other demons and the minds of soldiers and followers.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Wait. So this Damon, right? His history is an associated of a Nog who has chosen to, I don't know, Nohg, Nog, I don't know. An associate of Nog is another demon she mentions, who has chosen to go onto a more controlling and cerebral approach. So, and you, there's a sigil that you paint with your blood, and you got to get the blood from somewhere. But first it tells you how to identify, and he appears as a swirl of ash first, then a large bear-like animal. And the desires are to be consulted when other demons have gone rogue.
No way.
Serious. And the defensive actions are he grabs holds of other demons when they are acting in a manner dangerous to the doer.
So he puts them in check. He's the shot caller of the demon yard. That's
what I'm saying. we could bring this demon down, right? He goes after crazy rulers that use like what Dan was saying, what Susanna was saying about the Pope. I don't even know if you caught that, but she wrote a whole article about that there was some missing blood from one of the other popes that was stolen. And they, it just didn't seem to be like a big thing, a blood ritual.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, that sounds like a pretty crazy article.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing. It just came out, whatever. But I'm sure what they're doing is some if they really did steal it, or they just implied, let everybody like me and you speculate, But the fact is that they do blood sorcery, and if something, if something like that came out and they did some blood sorcery with the Pope's blood, trying to get some major demon action going, we would have to use this nigga over here, Chagathathy. He go claim everybody else's rogueness. You know what I'm saying? So
they're all not necessarily evil. That's the point you're trying to make. Some of them could actually be used for some good, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you summon this nigga exactly how you would summon da-da-da-da-da. With one exception, you paint his sigil only once upon parchment. Wear it under your clothes for your heart for 3 days with the sigil facing your skin. After 3 days and nights, remove it and burn it to ash. The deed and his work will be done. He will not possess you, but he may turn the work on you if you do not keep your agreement. So, if like me and you go, me, you, and a few other people go, let's all get our blood, do a sigil for this, and get and turn over the New World Order. You know what I'm saying?
Man. They might go David Koresh on our asses. They'll send the ATF after. You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying, so are we now using evil to get evil? I'm just trying to be like a little Bible belter now. So now we like.
I have to kind of incline. I mean, what if this guy goes rogue on you? It's kind of like creating your own Frankenstein. You summoned him, but he's a monster.
No, he won't go rogue. It says she says, and it's true. As long as if you have a pure heart and you contact this nigga, you're like, yo, we need to get rid of this. This is like real bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This dictator is like, this Hitler is taking out all these.
You gotta find your Aladdin. You gotta find your diamond in the rough in order to tame this beast or this deity.
Yeah, I'm saying that it says that he will not possess you and he won't turn on you only if you keep his agreement. So I'm saying if you have the heart to go take down the New World Order and you want to get all them fucking rogue scumbags, the Paulsons, the Soroses, or whatever, the Gores, and you just want to be like all them fucking corrupt judges and shit. You just boom. Right. This is to remodel, get a whole grip on our army and it was Eric Holder and fuck, wrap them all into one.
There you go. Yeah. Get all the dumpskis.
Yeah, so then I'm asking you, are we now evil? Are we worshiping the devil? Now, if your intentions are to live a God fulfilled life?
I certainly hope not, but maybe the practice may sound a little unorthodox, but if the ends justify the means and we're able to topple someone who is responsible for the deaths of 175 children abroad, both in Yemen and in Pakistan, then it's kind of hard to not want to go with that game plan.
Yeah, I mean, people say guns are so evil. Guns are so evil. But guns also save lives. You know what I'm saying? By me having protection, like you said, witchcraft could be protection. Like, so you having that knowledge, you using it, could be protective as well.
Right. Well, yeah, like, I'm going to quote another funny movie, but Tenacious D, they had that sorcerer before Jack Black found that pick of destiny. He was the only one. I mean, he knew magic. He was able to send the beast back from where he came. So, it depends on who the practitioner is and just exactly what they're using, whatever it is they're using, what they're using it for. If it's done with a good heart, it should be nothing but sunshine and rainbows. If it's done to deceive or manipulate or to destroy, of course you're going to get worms or maggots out of whatever it is you're practicing.
Yeah, I agree. It's all if the intention is to harm another person. If it's, you could do something and the same thing. The same exact method, and one is to harm a person, and one is to just make something right and beautiful, but the intention was different, and that's
like a prayer. A simple, a Hail Father or whatever. That's a form of, whether they like it or not, whether they want to hear it or not. That's a form of white magic. A simple prayer, a good night prayer. Yeah, I only know my prayers in Spanish, believe it or not. I don't know them in English, so I've never gone to church. I haven't gone to church in a while, but when I did, I only went to church. It was the Spanish church. I don't know. I've never gone to English church. Everybody I'd probably be the only one that's standing up at the wrong, time and not know what, how the song goes. It's just weird.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. But at what point does the use of crystals and it really bothers me. I'm going to just say something. It really bothers me that there's so much fear and pointing a finger in the patriot movement toward any kind of paganism, and that when you look at all Catholicism and all Judaism and it's all pagan. Everything is pagan. Yeah,
absolutely. You've been going to what is it? You have Christmas. It's all the worshiping of Nimrod and the lights on the trees and all that. That goes back to the days of Nimrod in the Roman Empire when they used to throw people to the lions who were Christians and burn people alive, on steel chairs.
I'm sure most of these Christian holidays are all like death days,
Right. And, Jaja, you mentioned crystals, and I think a lot of people out there are ignorant to the fact that these crystals that are talked about in these esoteric or metaphysical circles like the Conscious Life Expo that I go and cover. These crystals, they contain an amazing amount of life force energy. So if anyone were to look into the type of energy that these crystals actually possess, they look at the studies, they'll come away with facts and not just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I mean, it's out there. These crystals contain some type of energy, which has been referred to as life force energy.
Yeah, it's true, because crystals, they're an organic substance. I mean, it's molecular, and if that's what's making Swiss watches run, people don't understand that there's a reason why quartz crystals are used in watches, and quartz is it's a fucking battery, man. That shit is pure energy. Like I use scalar energy, and I work with orgone, and crystal is real. I mean, we've had Beowulf was on my show. I had Johnny Rico on. They were scientists, man. This is not like spooky, esoteric, maybe esoteric, but because it's like a little off and weird and shit. But it's not that it's not scientific, and you can't say that somebody's believing. It's not my God, what I'm saying. I'm not going.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna pray to that crystal. No, but I said no. That crystal is just like it's a fucking battery and shit. It could be a battery to heal something. It could be a battery to transmit energy. When you wrap it up in copper. And you
well, even keep negative spirits away, because that's one thing. I mean, there's this technique out there, and I don't advise this technique now unless you can find a waterfall that's not anywhere near the Fukushima disaster. But there's this technique of people who practice this type of energy, this meditation using crystals, like you said. They have to constantly relieve themselves of negative energy, just kind of like take a shower and brush it off, so it's my bad. It's called the waterfall technique, but I wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, well, when they get into that Reiki stuff, I mean, I have a problem with that Reiki healing. First of all, that it's such a waste of energy. These Reiki healers, they using their chi energy from, opening up their chakras, and they're doing a bit of channeling. They're just letting their energy flow into somebody else's body, trying to heal somebody, transmitting their own. It doesn't work. It takes too long, and the person becomes physically exhausted, drained, and if they don't know how to recover, they get ill. So there's no way that, their energy is stronger than orgone energy, what I'm saying? Like, I've seen fucking people with busted hands in casts get healed in 2 hours, and you could see it on their x-rays, the doctors was like, how the fuck do you heal your hands?
Yeah, what are you, Wolverine? Like, what are you, mutant? Yeah.
But that's what orgone energy does when I mix the orgone and scalar together, and that's just crystals. That's scientific. That has nothing to do with witchcraft. So, but to the unknowing person who thinks it's occultic because it's hidden or in the dark and secret, it's not.
Right.
It's only secret because they just trying to keep shit away, they want to make money in this world. They don't want people to be picking up crystals and fucking using it for real energy.
Absolutely not. I mean, it comes down to government again, and government tyranny, and this autocracy that we have, where we have our king over here, and the king doesn't want you to know certain things that you're not supposed to know. They want to keep that knowledge hidden.
Yeah, you mentioned about herbs before, and that's how you work. And I'm also into herbs. I use them for a lot of healing stuff. I know how to get rid of a lot of people's illness from different things, how to make things better with the right herbs and nutrients. But also that would have been like before there's like books and science books that actually are proving like that, like willow, for example, aspirin is a derivative of the willow tree so right. Before there's scientific evidence, it's still considered witchcraft.
Right.
For years it was considered the witchcraft shit, but it's
or more of just also it was the church or the powers that be. I think going after women. In general, I mean, the whole from the Salem witchcraft days to you name it, they have always gone after and have demonized the woman in Bible verses. It's disgusting. I praise the woman. Why do they call it Mother Nature? She's a female. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably get lynched or killed out in the Middle East for saying that, but hey, I'm in America, so I'll say it anyway. Yeah, it's Mother Nature, and that's what I see. It's just the church claiming that she's a witch, go after her, and that's more of an excuse just to go after women in general at those times, I think.
And in the Jewish religion, the practice of the Kabbalah is purposefully kept away from women.
Wow.
Yeah, they keep it hidden from women. I mean, and they say specifically that I've spoken to religious Jews about it. I've asked them, it's like, why can't women learn the Kabbalah? You know, and they say, well, because it's in the Talmud that if they learn it, you could really go crazy because you learn a lot of, you know, I guess it's a lot of magical shit, you know, or you learn some,
Right.
and they don't want, and because a woman is the mother of the children, they want the woman to be able to be sane for their children. So that's the reason. They said, oh, they don't want to give the woman that kind of power just because they don't need a psychopath. And they
don't want the woman to think more than anything. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, hey, you know, stay in the kitchen barefoot and, you know, cook my lunch and make my babies.
Yes,
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes,
you know?
it's that too. And they also didn't want women to feel the power of any magic, you know, because, well, they might attract another guy, you know.
Exactly.
The other guy with the shorter beard.
No shit. Yeah, and it's scary because, I mean, you see it in masonry too, how, you know, they don't allow women in there. So it's like, you know, what are these guys doing? And then they get these weird, you know, busts at Masonic lodges where they're all having some type of gay orgy. So what really is going on? And you also have them in bed with the police because most of them, you know, the third degree guys, they're cops. So it's just this ring of crime and masonry that's intermingled in our world today.
Yeah, I think that something's happened with mafia and the Masons, and they've gone kind of, and the government, and something's, you know, and yeah, all roads lead to Rome. You know what I'm saying? So they're all, you know. Look, all the gold that the Vatican has, you know what I'm saying? They're making a lot of rules there. Look at the Pope, man. Just look at this nigga. He's like a scary ass. They're all scary. The Popes are scary. That's American Idol.
This new Pope really gives me the willies, you know, just because I kind of relate with the cat a little bit more because I could understand when he talks, you know, because he's a Latino Pope, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's freaky. And what's even freakier is, did you see that celebration out in Rome where he released those two white doves? And I mean, he had his children. I don't know if they were related to him or whatnot. You know, these two children, a boy and a girl, released these two white doves that, of course, symbolize peace. And they were attacked by one of the ugliest looking crows and seagulls almost instantly. So, you know, that right there, what an omen, right? In front of millions or, you know, hundreds of people at the Vatican.
See, this is what I'm saying. This Pope now is more of a Baphomet than Jay-Z. Just because...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he is now coming deceptively.
And that's what they call themselves, Baphomets. Right, and Jay-Z is a jester. This guy is the big kahuna. Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like as a musician, you want to be looked at, you want to be a star, you want to be famous, you want people to look at you, you want that glory anyway. But that's like obvious because you're a musician. You want people to sing along your songs and fucking know them, make money. But when you're a pope and you're attributing that kind of a glory and that kind of a illuminating falsity, that's being, you know, just that's now it's just completely everybody, and it's being fed through twisted lies of through the media, through religion, you know, and it's and everybody's sort of believing like Jesus walks and shit in this fucking white cloud. It's becoming it's showing you that, and that to me is real deception, because at least with music you can go, shit, music always uses that shit for gimmickry, you know? Like, you know, go, you know, like...
Not these guys, no, not at all.
Right, that's more of that fucking, that's more creepy than any...
These guys are the masters. You just hit it right on the head. I mean, these guys, Jay-Z's the jester, these guys are his masters. You know, this Jesuit Pope by far is I mean, he's not even supposed to be Pope. According to the prophecy, Cardinal Ratzinger, who was one of the biggest perpetrators in hiding evidence against other clergy members of rape and sodomy of children, it's one of the biggest examples that you know, we're in the end times, because Ratzinger was supposed to be the last one, according to prophecy, and here we have this imposter. So could this guy be, the whore of Babylon? Could he be the one that's going to bring about the end? We're definitely glued to our MacBook Pros watching, aren't we?
Well, I know that Eminem is having a tour called Rapture, so I'm just trying to figure out when the Rapture begins, before, during, or after his tour.
Right. Well, Rapture, I think that was already debunked a while ago. There was some people were expecting to just disappear. And look at the chaos that's interesting you bring that up. I mean, look at the chaos that would cause, if a Rapture event were to happen. You got let's say you got a pilot, he gets raptured. What happens to that plane and the people that weren't raptured? The guy that was driving the bus and he's raptured, or driving in the middle of the road, or could you imagine? It'd be chaos. It would also be chaos.
I'd like to see the legal definition of the word rapture, because I don't believe it's going to happen or exists or has existed, or everything is left up for interpretation for Hollywood, in my opinion.
Well, you got it.
I get a rapture with fucking, I think some great sex or some shit.
That sounds funner to me than this just magically disappearing. I don't want to just disappear, man. You know what I mean? Unless I know where I'm going.
I mean, did you have to admit, though, that some of this truth movement, rides on that shit? They love that rapture shit, because without the fear of having to survive a rapture, this gloom and the doom, they wouldn't.
But some of these people are also stuck on stupid. It's like they're almost one step away or 1 foot into the Westboro Church, Baptist Church, the way they think. Some of these truthers. I'm not saying go practice Reiki and whatnot. I'm a radio show host, a la Art Bell style. I like to dig into the UFO, the occult, you name it. But I also see how naive and just pig-headed a lot of the truthers are out there. It's like, that we're supposed to, be part of this quantum leap in consciousness, propagating real info and the betterment of yourself as a human being, and what you can do to contribute, to society, that change that you want to see in the world. But a lot of them they're just closed-minded, a lot of them.
A lot of those people are the ones that are saying, look, the devil, look, they're the devil. They're not but Jesus lovers. So they're the first ones to say that, is what I'm trying to say.
But I do give them credit, though, when they bring out a video like Rihanna, where she's getting sprayed in like demonic seminal fluid. That's kind of like okay, yeah. I give the truthers credit when they do point out that, hey, Rihanna's in a video getting sprayed by demonic seminal fluid. So it's like, okay, there's something wrong with that picture. But a lot of them are just closed-minded.
Yo, so I'm just saying, so Rihanna's getting pissed on by the Beast. So that means the Beast, she's just holding her own under the umbrella. So she's saying that she's still going to be her own author under the umbrella of Universal. That's what I'm trying to figure.
I think that, yeah, exactly. But that whole song is just basically her asking the Beast to, like you said, she's channeling the Beast, something you never want to do. She's asking for the Beast to come in her, and basically take a hold of her and keep her under his protection after this whole financial collapse thing, because she's all about the money. She's all about the Benjamin, so she's scared. She's a good girl going bad for the money, and she knows it. She was visited by this Rain Man, and bada bing, there she is on all fours, just bending over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the Rain Man. Let's talk about this Rain Man. Like, Lil Wayne talks about the Rain Man and like making it rain, all this shit. So
that's what it is.
So is the Rain Man a real person, or is he deity?
From what I've seen that this Rain Man that they talk about, it isn't Tom Cruise, it isn't that movie with Dustin Hoffman, where he counts the toothpicks. It's basically a reference when they say, "Oh yeah, I'm making it rain. I make it rain." Whatever. They throw the money up in the air. It even goes to other artists. Like Bob Dylan and other artists have mentioned the Rain Man. Not necessarily folk artists, rock artists, Rolling Stones, you name it. They've all just called out to the occult. And this deity, the Rain Man in particular, is a deity from Africa, kind of like the Africa's version of the boogeyman. So here you have everybody from Rihanna to Jay-Z saying that they want to be under the protection of this Rain Man, and if they are, they'll be just fine after the collapse and before the collapse, because they'll be hydroplaning in the bank, like they say. So they're very cocky.
I thought she was just pretend she was having a golden shower and like hiding from somebody pissing on her. But
it's an actual representation of her being raped by that deity. I mean, if you ever see that video, that's her.
I understand, but I'm just trying to say, like, I look at deities, and I know what they look like, and I know a lot of Yoruba and African deities. I studied African art, and I never saw any fucking African deity in a mass sculpture or any art form, antiquity that ever had any indicator that it was Rain Man.
Right. Well, what would be fun would to actually, have an expedition and not try to figure out, just who the Rain Man is out in the motherland, out in Africa. So who knows? Maybe that could be something that there's a lot of unanswered questions. What this just as long as that shit doesn't come back to me, I'll ask a couple of questions, get the hell out of there. But you know what I mean? Kind of like an expedition. Like, what is this Rain Man? And does he really make it rain?
That's the music industry. It's just probably just some, like a Jay-Z type, Jay-Z's a Rain Man, you just, they can make it rain. They just, the money now, the connections, they're in the system. They can make it rain, I mean, they can.
Oh, can they? Yeah, bringing a franchise to Brooklyn I'd say is making it rain big time. I mean, you guys haven't had a franchise there since the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's about 200 yards from my house.
Ebbets Field.
Oh, no. The stadium that...
Oh, the new basketball stadium, right.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Right down the block from me. So, yeah, I don't know. So, is Jay-Z the devil, or is he not?
I'd say he's a jester that maybe has had dinner with the devil. But is he the devil? No, I don't think so.
I know people whose house he's been in, and they don't think he's a devil. I've seen him in clubs, like, before he was really famous, and he just looked like a normal guy to me. He's just, really rich now.
Yeah. Well, you get rich when you rip off Biggie, that's for sure.
And other people. Biggie's been dead, so he's not ripping off Biggie lately, Bruce.
But, one thing about Jay-Z, I don't want to just talk smack on him, but, I mean, back in the day, way back in the day, I mean, when, even going before one of the first songs I liked from him was that one song he had with Jermaine Dupri, where they're in those Lamborghinis and stuff. But even before that, he used to kind of rap like Busta Rhymes, like different, like, when he was on the streets, when he was brought, and when he just got off of slanging crack. He kind of had that Busta Rhymes, like, that flow, where he's just kind of like a M16 with his flows,
Yeah, I would put one of his old tracks on, but, he might come after me with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and trying to take me down.
You know their game.
Yeah, I know their game.
Right.
Not that they need to know mine.
Exactly. That's why you're a guerrilla girl, because you fight battles you can win. And you're hidden and they're exposed. That's what guerrilla's all about.
Wait a second. So I'm a cult or I'm a ninja?
No. You're not.
I'm a clandestine ninja. Is that it?
No, you're in the shadows like a ninja. There we go. You're watching those motherfuckers. You're a vigilante. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. I strike when the iron's hot. They think that I'm ignoring them. They think that I'm jealous, or I haven't been paying attention, or I'm blind, or I'm dumb, or they're just testing me or I'm just pussy. Nope, none of that shit. It's called just sit back, watch the shit, and then collect fucking all the knots and then fucking hit you when I fucking got what I got, bitch.
Boom shakalaka.
That's how it goes. So they know they're gonna have a problem with me soon, but this was really fun, you know, because I mean, I'm really interested in that concept where, like, I don't want to be that finger pointer and go, yo, look at them fucking devil worshippers, you know, when it's like a joke, you know, because I could say the same thing about any rock band from the fucking 70s or 80s, absolutely. You know, and any of the history of heavy metal.
Oh, they're even worse than the rappers. Have you ever heard Deicide? Or Cradle of Filth? I mean, these guys, you know, it's funny story. I'm a big metalhead, you know.
Well, the Gen Torturers? Did you ever see the Gen Torturers? Them fucking guys are having rituals and shit on stage, like nipple clips and shit spinning around. Genesis from Psychic TV, he's fucking doing, like, also, you know, sticking piercings in his body on stage.
Oh yeah, that black metal shit. Yeah, it gets heavy. It gets dark. I went to a Cradle of Filth show and I had a drink and I was ordered 666 while they were playing like this one of the most evil songs on their set. So I was just like, holy shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, these metal bands are over the top with it.
Right, and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to fall into the category where I'm just pointing a finger going, ooh, look, Eminem made the goat man finger. It's like, oh, look, he's making the Baphomet. Like, oh, my God, he's making allegiance to the devil. Yo, he's just doing that shit just to get a fucking rise. If they want to be dividing different audiences, you know, where we're just, like, falling victim to a hoax that they're perpetrating on us, when I don't even fucking believe in the devil because I'm Jewish and shit, you know, I believe there's evil and good, you know, I just don't believe in the devil. So
the devil is not what they paint the devil to be with the little horns and the little, you know, the guy from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That is not the devil. The devil is, you know, it's no different than when the sun goes up and the sun goes down. What you feel when the sun's going down, that can very well be the devil. You know, without any darkness, you can't have light. And you know, think about it. God would probably go insane if he didn't have a devil.
Listen.
One step ahead of you, blood, sweat, I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. Fuck me once, and you're fucked for life. Dead dogs will rise to take you by surprise. Rat the tat spat, you be headed for a dive. I'm everywhere you turn, and I'm ready for a fight. Spar with me, you ain't getting very far with me. I'm so bizarre that I make spark a seed with remarkable speed. You'll be marked with teeth. I got the instincts of a killer, and you're my target, G. You can't hide, dodging me, an impossibility. There's no stopping me. You a casualty in an emergency. I broke a thermometer, made you swallow the mercury. Panic fills you up, makes you fucking weak. You can't massacre me, I'll take you out with ease. You a wannabe, will try and figure me. But ready, you better believe this vendetta gonna get you heaved. One step ahead of you, blood, sweat, I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. One step ahead of you, blood, sweat, I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. I'm down, I'm broken, bound. I put my sounds back and shake the whole ground. You wanna shout, let it out. No diggity down, I'll show you how. Pow! What's my name? You can't bust my name. What's your game? You can't fuck my game. You opened up a vein. You're the one to blame. I was your treasure, but you gave me your pain. I was your pleasure, but you can't maintain. Too much pressure, that was your mistake. Urgent, income's a surgeon. Jaws whipping the mic and the production is German. We hitting those nerves and fixing you permanent. Throwing those balls and putting a curve in them. Striking you out, there's no way of learning them. As soon as you try, we're often reversing them. Chrome spinning rims and the rubber stay burning it. One step ahead of you, blood, sweat, I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. One step ahead of you, blood, sweat, I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. The no reason to make your mama proud. I'm that blingin' rocket bound, balling out. I'm on cruise control, about to lose control until the truth is told. All my records gold, the road stays cold if you're fucking with the brains of the bold. I'm activating missiles, penetrating in you, quiet as a Hindu. I pin you to the window, I feel you in your system. You're just another victim, the hero and the villain. 1 in a million, can I get a skrilly on? I dilly dally in the Billy's alley when I tilly tally. All the beady baddies get me shitty shatty, giddy yappy. I'm so happy, I'm a social outcast. I'm a hazard to your status. All of me is baddest on a warrior's path. I keep 'em guessing with all kinds of riddles, motherfucking faggots stripping lyrics. I'll flip you on a griddle. 1 step ahead of you, blood, sweat. I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. 1 step ahead of you, blood, sweat. I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. 1 step ahead of you, blood, sweat. I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter. 1 step ahead of you, blood, sweat. I get the best of you. I got eyes at the back of my head, and I can see through anything. I got the eyes of a fighter.
These NSA guys are up there, channeling demons and setting them loose on the unsuspecting public to, have them read our thoughts. I mean, you know what? They don't even need to do that. There's a program where they actually had remote viewers. Actually, they were able to spy on other people from. I mean, let's say you're in New York, you could spy on a guy from Russia. Or a guy from Russia could be spying on you just using your mind alone. So these people would say, "Oh no, that's black magic. That's this, that's that." The human body, the human mind, the human brain is an enigma that we have yet have scratched the surface of just what we are really given. We lose these abilities when at such a young age. But really, I mean, we're something special, as a human race. And, we're also a virus upon the earth, destroying our Mother Earth. So it's a double-edged sword with humanity. You have the good and the very bad.
I don't believe that a remote viewer can get into my brain unless I allow them. That's how strong I am.
That's right.
But
yeah, you also have to be a very strong mind.
But I can also read other people's thoughts, and I'm very good at it. And I've also had conversations with people. And then when I've thought that, for example, like a couple of months ago, I heard my friend, I didn't know if it was my imagination or what, but it was one of my friends, and she was telling, and I heard like a thought. It was like a real fucking thought. And it was her voice, like in my head. I was like, boom. And
right.
She was talking about her, something with her car and her lawyer, and then she called me like 10 minutes later, and she starts to talk. I said, yeah, so what's up with your lawyer? And she said, how did you know I was just thinking about that? And I was like, dude, I fucking heard you and shit,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, you see a little glimpse of your gift. I mean, people could say, oh, no, that's just because you're, real close with that friend or whatever, that you could finish their sentences, or maybe more, who knows?
Right, so if we have all these patriots and people just pointing a finger going, oh, that's all bad because it's sorcery. Please tell me what sorcery means. What's the difference between some fucking pope standing there holding Jesus' blood in his hand and telling you eat the crack of his ass? What's the difference between that and pricking your finger and fucking saying,
exactly,
you're my friend forever,
Exactly. I mean, but if these patriots in the truth movement really knew any better, they'd know that Benjamin Franklin was in the occult. They'd know that Adam Weishaupt, it's suspected that he could have killed George Washington and taken George Washington's place. So here you have the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati of 1776. People think, oh, no, that's when the U.S., the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. No. That is commemorating on the dollar. It's the Masonic dollar made by Masons. It's commemorating the birth of the Illuminati and the fact that, hell, hey, Patriots, the United States of America was founded by occultists.
Yeah,
Look it up.
Yeah, you can watch the whole Chris Pinto series, the Phoenix and the Secret Beginnings of America. It's fabulous. He
George
talks
Washington was a Mason.
Yeah, they all are. They designed it. Manly P. Hall. They designed the look of the seal. Everything was Masonic.
Washington, D.C. itself. I mean, you even have Albert Pike, the same guy that is the founder of the KKK. You got Albert Pike, a big statue of him in Washington, D.C., and then from Google View, from the aerial view, you got the Washington, D.C. looking like a damn pentagram. Okay? You don't need me. You go do the research yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Jaja?
Right. It's true. There's Jim Mars is good at that. He's really got a great sense.
Absolutely.
He talks about the Fourth Reich. And, and all the Masonic.
He was awesome. Great guy. I've actually have had the pleasure to interview Jim Mars live and on my program, and I've met him at the Contact in the Desert Expo out in where was it? Out there in pretty much the desert out here in Joshua Tree, where we were watching this meteor shower. So it's great. Great. It was great meeting Jim. And man, he's definitely a encyclopedia of knowledge.
See, what the thing is that with the Pope, to tie this all together, the Pope and the Masons, and there a lot of them are all tied into Hitler and this real Third Reich kind of neo-Nazi. It is becoming
right?
It's becoming a fascist situation, and they're using that proliferation of fascism to control us, And yeah, I guess, you could say the musicians have all bought into that, allowing themselves to be controlled by the fascists.
They've sold out. They've sold out. Just like that Real Big Fish song.
So none of those, but you don't really want Eminem to do Truth in Music. That's fucking annoying. I'm sorry. But
I don't, anything past, what he did with Dre, where Guilty Conscience, I haven't listened to him. I'm sorry.
but anyway, the fact is that, he's just, maybe he has a guilty conscience. I hope he has a guilty conscience.
I think he does, and we see it, in his demeanor. He definitely looks like more of a sad and pathetic figure over the years. As he's getting older, I guess he's realized that his soul was worth a lot more than what the millions and millions that he received in return. His soul is worth more than what he could ever get.
So, but I just want to know, what he could have done that wouldn't have been selling out in the eyes of the mainstream, because by people saying that he's sold out, right, is easy to say that, right? Say, oh yeah, he's sold out, but what else would he be talking about? Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you say he's sold out, why? Because I could say for a fact that he made a whole album and he probably propagated about 52 fucking drugs from the pharmaceutical company, but nobody else fucking picked that shit out. Nobody else fucking said that. But that's just me saying that he's fucking being bought and paid for by Big Pharma that year, But that's just me. But I'm just saying everybody wants to say that he sold out, But where are their factual allegations? They just want to say that, and if that's the case, what else would he be saying if he didn't sell out?
Right. Well, he says what they tell him to say.
No, they don't.
He does.
No, he doesn't. He just says that too. He says what the fuck he wants. Trust me.
Yeah, but I don't know. Personally, I think that Eminem, Rihanna, all these new artists, they fail in comparison to the late 90s rap, from 96 to 99, that era in rap could never be touched again. Those days were gangster. Nowadays, it's pop bubblegum manufactured bullshit, and they're not artists. They're scam artists.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you about the scam part. And they're definitely a con artist, but that's to be continued. And, cause time is running out now, but But I'm just trying to say, we can't just call people satanic devil worshippers, this, that, and the other thing without having, factual allegations. And I don't want to fall victim, personally, to be one of these Bible Belt kind of patriots that are going to say, oh, look, they're devil, they're evil, without having real fucking facts in my hands. I don't want to be equated as a fucking tinfoil hat, wearing fucking... pointing a finger and shit when I'm sitting here fucking cutting my fucking veins open going, yo, save me from those guys.
You want to be like the show Dragnet. Just the facts and the facts alone, man. That's it.
Yo, Bruce, it's been awesome. We got to do this again sometime. It's been fucking
absolutely
phenomenal.
It's great to talk to you, Jaja. You're the hottest rapper on this coast, any coast, all right? Coast to coast. You're the best. Thank you.
I love you, babe. Yo, so don't forget, tune in to fucking Bruce Montalvo on GMN on Sundays, too.
Oh, you know it. 12 noon Pacific. All the time, every time on the one and only Guerrilla Media Network. Tune in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're listening to Jaja in the Damage Control.